This trip has been awesome, and I want to show you what we've been up to for the last couple of days. One of the things that's cool, I've gotten to share this with my daughter, and I'm going to be sharing with you all trip participant photos. Let's go. Welcome to Montana. We are at the beginning of our Baby Animals with Animals of Montana and Grand Teton's workshop, and we're up here on the Animals of Montana property outside Bozeman, Montana. And we started this morning with a tiger. Beautiful. I mean, Texaco. You've seen pictures of him on my Instagram. You've seen a previous video. He is a magnificent tiger, and he's up here. This is my first time here when it's not snow covered. So it's fantastic to see the green and the tiger. Now we're working with two grizzly bear. I was going to say cubs, but they're about 1.5 years old. One of these is the one that licked my elbow in Moab last April. It's just amazing to have this opportunity to be so close with these animals, work with the trainers who work with photographers from all over the world, and help us get these really cool shots. Did I say it's really cool to be so close to these animals? We've moved on from tigers and bears to wolf pups, and now, well, look, it's like cheating. Some of you will say it's completely cheating, but it's awesome. Troy and folk here have built this little kind of staged area that's up above. So we get these fantastic ground level shots. But we're just standing around in a semicircle and watching them poke their little heads through the hole. It's pretty easy and a lot of fun. All right, we took a nice lunch break, and we've come back out now that the light levels have dropped. We worked with the wolves for a while, the wolf pups, and now we've moved on to Adam the bear.
I'm trying to make it flat underneath her.
Adam just wanted me to say hello.
Beehives.
From bears, we've moved on to porcupines. We're using that tabletop setup that we had this morning with the foxes. They're so, this guy, or she, Troy?
What's that?
Is it a female?
Yeah, she.
Yeah, she is adorable. It's the cutest little thing. And Dimitri's over here using a reflector to throw in a little bit more of this afternoon evening light, and it's just too easy. Except the porcupine likes to point his butt at us mostly. Do you see what my job is today? It's to help people take pictures of adorable little foxes. It's pretty cool. We're finishing up our time here at Animals of Montana. And you know, I posted this on Instagram recently. When you come here, the participants have an idea. You know, I'm going to get these amazing animal shots. They've seen our shots. They've seen previous participants' shots. But it quickly becomes so much more than that, because not only are you getting amazing shots, but you are feet away from foxes and coyotes and badgers and I'm looking at over here the lynx and baby lynx and a bear and a big tiger. And tonight we worked with a panther. And it's just to be so close with no big zoo bars or fences in between. It's more than getting the pictures. It is an awesome experience. And there are times where I'm doing things to help people and I don't get to quite capture it. And tonight I had a very interesting job. Our panther was a little reluctant to get going, and he just kind of wanted to chill. I used my drone as kind of this big cat toy, waving it back and forth in the sky. He was interested in it. He would follow it with his eyes. I'd fly it back and forth across the group of photographers, and he would just nicely follow it with his eyes. And people got some great shots. I took it a little close a couple of times, but since that's still on loan to me, I really didn't want to call up B&H and be like, I'm sorry, the drone got eaten by a black panther. So I didn't get it too close. I'm a little bit of a sissy about that. We get up early tomorrow and head towards the Tetons. We might see some more animals, but our focus now is shifting to nice landscapes. And we've made our way through Yellowstone, stopping a couple places. Got to see Old Faithful. The timing just worked out really nicely. Someone in our group had never seen that before. And now we've entered the Grand Tetons National Park and one of our first views. Look at this. Spectacular. You step up to a scene like this, the first thing I think about is aperture, really getting a nice depth of field that's going to capture all of this in focus. And, you know, we talked about taking some just general nice scenics of the mountains in the distance, not splitting your horizon perfectly. But one of the things to look for here is we're surrounded by this little kind of roadside field of flowers, and using some of that as interesting foreground element to really give a sense of depth and scale to this scene can be nice. In that case, when you've got stuff really close to the lens, that's when I really start thinking about using those high apertures. It's very rare that I'm shooting up above f11, f12, unless I'm trying to achieve some kind of effect where sharp focus in foreground and something in the very distant is still recognizable. Arguably one of the most photographed landmarks in Grand Tetons National Park, besides the mountains themselves, is the Molten Barn. It's easy to find on Google Maps. There's lots of gorgeous photos of it. We're out here at sunrise. We're gonna make our gorgeous photos. We're not alone. As I said, it's one of the most well-known and photographed barns, so there's a few other photographers here, and as we've discussed from time to time, it's like, what's the point of making a picture that so many other people have made? I'm not going to go down that road too far, other than to say, it's really cool to be out here, to see this with my own eyes, and to make my own photo that I can hang on the wall and say, I was there, I have that memory, I took that picture. If you do come photograph this barn, keep an eye out for the intersections, so at certain angles, you can frame the entire barn below the top edge of the mountains. I think that's best. Thumbs up there. At other angles or with wider framing, you get the peak of the barn poking up just barely above the mountain. And that to me looks a little sloppy. So think about your composition. You walk over this little bridge, make your way left, and on this little hill, you've got quite a nice vantage point. I'm shooting at about 50 millimeters on full frame. There are tons of other angles to shoot this at, but if you're breaking the horizon, you want it to look very deliberate. Don't have it a little bit. And in some angles we were working on, kind of the saddle of one of the peaks was just kind of kissing the bottom, and that's not good. I'm being summoned. Holy shit.
Wow, he's moving.
There's always these moments on McKay trips. I think we just hit this one. Schwabacker Road, off of the main road in Grand Tetons National Park, leads down to this little scenic river spot. But you turn to the right and you walk, and you get up to these series of beaver dams where the water right now is so perfectly still, except for when the mama duck and baby ducks swim by. It is so perfectly still, offering such fantastic reflections. It's just very lovely. Very lovely. Now it's time for breakfast. Breakfast buffet. Crazy views. Look at these views.
That has in-body stabilization, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is very stable. I know. Okay.
How do we look, Beryl?
Super handsome, my God.
I was like this before, and then I
take my
felt
eyes
like,
off
it looks
the
like we're on a
screen.
date or something.
All right, let's not make this last forever. We're wrapping up another McKay Photography Academy trip. You got to come along on this trip
I did.
100% free.
It was very affordable.
Yes.
It really was.
Even though you thought my original message was a little spammy, but that, you know, that aside,
It was. He had to convince me I won something. And
he
we went
was
from there.
he
So,
was the winner of that $6,000 photography prize package that included this trip, a backpack from Mindshift Gear, all of those other
tripod.
wonderful sponsors. We'll list them below. Thank them very much. Did you have a good time?
I had an amazing time. I would do it every single time if I could, if I had the time. And
And
Yeah.
if we made them all free.
yeah, if you made them all free, I'd come every single time.
That would be
No,
awesome.
it was absolutely wonderful. I couldn't recommend it highly enough. David McKay, fantastic instructor, and Toby here, got to meet him and hang out with him, and he's just as cool in real life. And I absolutely loved it.
Good.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Did you have a favorite part? Because this was kind of a split trip between working with animals of Montana and photographing the animals, and then we headed off to Yellowstone and the Tetons.
I think I'm such a landscape guy. I think I really preferred the Teton portion. The animal portion was wonderful, and I think that was probably most people's favorite. But I love the mountains. I love landscapes. That's a passion of mine, so I really enjoyed that a lot.
Cool. Good. Well, I'm really glad you got to come along. Thank you so much. Thank you for supplying a fun soundtrack in the car.
Yes.
And we'll be back with more trips, maybe more contests in the future. So stay tuned.
Enter those contests because you might win.
Great. Thank you.